I always remember. I wrote you on and on. You never gave me an answer. Am I the only one? I didn't know it was over. Take care of you. I didn't know it was over. Take care of you. Take care of you. I wrote you on and on. You never gave me an answer. Am I the only one? I didn't know it was over. Take care of you. Take care of you.
Hello. Welcome to our live stream today. I am actually very excited to do this live stream because for the first time we have a four-way collaborative live stream. Yes, you heard me right. There are four people in this call. It's going to be super exciting. We're going to be talking about our newest addition to the Co-x3 family connection, which is the Party Quest. And you guys should get excited because it's going to be a really cool feature. And let me start by introducing our wonderful collaborators for today. I'm going to jump into my other view so you can get a chance to hear their lovely voice and see less of me, hear more of them. Ashley, Ben, Joshwin, can you say hi? It'll be all mumble jumble, but just say hi all at the same time.
Hi, hello everyone.
Amazing. Well, it's lovely to have you guys on. It's been a wonderful pleasure working with you guys on the Co-x3 family connection, as well as with many of the other people in the family, right? Many other collaborators, and just really coming together and really figuring out what multiplayer for personal development means. It's been a topic that I think all of us have different feelings about in this call, right? For myself, I feel very strongly about it. I think party questing and playing with friends and going on raids and all that has been the pinnacle of my experience in any game I played, and love to bring that to personal developments. But I'd love to kind of go around and just get everybody acquainted with you guys and learn a bit about what you guys are excited by in this concept of multiplayer for personal development. maybe we'll go in reverse order. Joshua, you can go first, and then we'll jump to Ben and then Ashley.
Sure. So my name is Jocelyn. So recently I've been working as a technical support engineer, but really I'm a software engineer at heart, and that's where I got my education in. So that's probably right up my alley. And what I'm very excited about for this project is like, I guess, gamifying life and using technology to help gamify it. It just makes things, I feel like there are certain like tasks in life that could be seen as mundane and whatnot, and adding gamification makes it not as bad, and I just love that idea. As for my relevance for this project, I've had, I would say, the most hand in a Dailies feature, so I did like the core functionality of that feature. So, and so far, with the additions that Conrad added and everything, just like how it looks and everything, it's looking great, and I love to use it honestly. So that's a bit about me. It's like I'm happy to see everyone that's in this call.
Yeah, and just to mention, guys, Josh was mentioning the dailies. Dailies is like a really cool way of doing your daily quests outside of Notion. We just thought it would be cooler to have an interface outside of Notion to help you interact with your daily quests, get those things done that you need to be done every day, and also feel like really excited and motivated by it. We'll do a walkthrough through the whole app in a second, so don't worry if you're itching to see how the app works and everything. For those who are newly joining us, it's basically an app that's going to live on top of your Notion. It's going to give you a chance to see all your Notion wins visualized in real time in terms of your levels, XP, gold, and all that. And just really excited by that. But thank you so much for introducing yourself, Joshua. Ben, I'd love to hear from you.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Benjamin Covington. I'm a game designer, software engineer. And I have been working on with the project to help grow some of our specifically like our party systems is probably what I'm going to end up working some of the most with. And well, given the Josh one was able to use his dailies as his item, I think that honestly I'm really excited about where we're going to be able to go with the party system. And honestly, what I feel like that I come to the Family Connection site, the app, and just joining Co-x3 in general, I feel like is that amazing sense of community and accountability that can come with a bunch of other people that you know are going through this with you and have similar experiences. And so being able to have a really good avenue to put those groups together, I am so excited when we get to start doing some parties together.
Yeah, awesome. And, Ben, I think your ideas have always been very exciting. We had a live stream, I think around 3-4 weeks back, where we were just building on Notion, and Ben really showed us all what a Notion whiz he is with a lot of really interesting formulas and relations. And I'm just really excited to see that translate into the party quest idea. We've exchanged a lot of really good concepts already. We've put a lot down in code as well. So I'm just really excited for the whole world to see kind of what we've been working on here. So definitely really excited to hear that from you, Ben. Thank you for sharing as well. Amazing. Ashley, love to hear from you. Please go ahead.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley. So let's see. I am a software engineer currently by trade. Let's see. I am learning user experience kind of on the side. And also I'm just interested in game development in general. So obviously this project is very exciting just because it's games and it's also like tech and like it's also like motivation for everybody, and it's just like it's very fun. And I love the community so far. It's been really really great and like really friendly, and I thought that would be like the best thing to like expand upon, I guess, with this project. And so I guess I'm just kind of here to like help with that and just kind of showing Conrad everything he can do with Notion and databases and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Ashley. And I really want to say Ashley has been really like a generator of like innovative ideas. I don't know how else to like. I'm not overhyping, by the way, right? Some people
Oh my
think like,
gosh.
oh, you're just overhyping, you know. No, 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 no. Ashley like has come up with some really awesome ideas here. One idea I think I want to share now because I just love it so much. But we've talked about how you can share your wins into this app, right? Tell people, hey, these are the things I'm working on and I'm succeeding in, and really get some encouragement and support in that way, right? But on top of that, she came up with this idea of like, hey, if I'm on a party quest with people, if I'm in this accountability group, we can kind of call it that, then I also want to let people know that I need healing, I need help, right? I could use some additional boosted motivators, some mentorship, whatever it might be. And that's one of her ideas, one of her many, many good ideas. So stay tuned. She's going to definitely shock and surprise you throughout this stream. No
Oh my
pressure,
gosh,
actually.
you're too nice, Conrad. Oh my gosh. Don't put me on the spot, please.
No, it's well deserved praise for sure. But anyway, enough rambling. I do want to jump in and kind of show people around what we've been up to here in the Co-x3 Family Connection. We're officially going live in a week, so that's super exciting. We've been in beta for I think a month and a half, so it's been a really cool side project of ours, and it's really working together and trying to build something cool for the family. I'm really excited about that. And I guess I'll just gloss over some of the features. If you guys have been watching our other live streams, you might have seen a bit here and there. But I guess this is for the first time just me running through in a bit more detail, right? And at any time, guys, feel free to pause me and then let me know, hey, I'm really excited about this feature. I want to talk a bit more about that. And you can take the reins on that. All right. So let me just show you what I'm looking at on my screen. I'll zoom in a bit maybe, just so everyone can see a bit more oomph to it. But basically, again, the whole idea of multiplayer for personal developments. Right now, season 1, we're just in beta. We haven't announced this link, much at all. It's just within the community, whoever's been interested in it. And we've already got like almost 60 players. I think that's super awesome. So basically, on the leaderboard page, you can see everybody that's in the community, our top leaderboards, who's handing in gold, slaying dragons, whatever it might be. You can see their latest wins if they like to share it, as well as what gold and experience points they've earned for that day. I think definitely that's like really exciting stuff. And then also being able to, kind of just feel that you're not alone in, working on your goals and working on your projects. I think it's just a really big motivator here. I set up an account here to show you guys, but this is how a player page would look like. For example, right now it's my morning, so it's saying morning, Conrad. I love that little message like that. But really being able to see like, a breakdown of where all the stats are going to in my life. So I'm level 19, right? But where is that going to? Well, if I click on my avatar, I can see that, oh, what level 19 means is I'm level 17 in making work fun, level 9 in making my life sustainable, or in this case, Co-x3 sustainable. Level 8 is uncategorized, so that's something to think about, right? It's like, hey, how come so many things in my life are uncategorized wins? Maybe they should be categorizing towards something, right? That's something to think about. And then also, seeing the knowledge, sharing just different areas in life that you're trying to progress in, and really having more than just a static feel, because you're never just leveling up binarily, right? In games. And in real life, definitely not. You're leveling up in all sorts of different directions. And I just always think it's really cool to really see, where your efforts in your life has been accumulating to. And this is, how you can see that. So very, very excited about that. You can also see your wins this week, how you fared with last week. Again, I think it's just a really cool chart to motivate you. It's like, hey, I did like 3 wins last week. Last week on this day, on Monday, I want to do 3 again, if not 4, right? And having that kind of thing. And then also being able to see all your recent wins is really, really motivating for me, because it shows like, a really funny GIF every time you hand in something. So I always think that's super funny. And you can also share that win with your family as well, like with everyone else in the family. There's more to show here again, but this stream is more about party questing, not more about this. I'm just showing you guys around for fun. I will show you the dailies though. The dailies is really fun. Maybe Joshua, you'd like to talk a bit about this feature since you had a great hand in making it all work.
Yeah, sure. So with daily quests, like this is where you can basically manage your habits. So things that are essentially uncategorized are like obviously in that first section, but in the other sections, like you can do like morning, afternoon, and like bedtime. And can you like click on the I guess edit dailies button?
Okay, let's go ahead and change some dailies up.
Yeah, and so this is basically where you can edit everything: titles, icons, whether it's something's active or not, and also like when you want to actually complete that habit. You can do it all here and everything, and works perfectly, honestly. And if you go back,
Let's do that.
yeah, and then the thing is that each day, basically, like the goal is you need to complete 4 wins, and so that's why you have that 0 out of 4 at the top. And once you get that, you get a bonus reward, and that basically helps you level up, and it's always nice. And then there's also different types of habits as well. So there's like you have like a checkbox or like just completion habits, also like the emotions right there as well, and there are other options as well, so that whether you just want to quickly check it off or enter a note or what have you for a given habit, this feature basically is pretty flexible and allowing you to manage your habits compared to other options that are out there.
Yeah, definitely. And what I love about it is that it works really well on your mobile as well, because it gives
Mhm.
you the chance to jump in and see like, it all at your fingertips, right? And I especially love the bonus idea. It's something that I was inspired to integrate because of my time playing like, different video games that just really gave you the whole idea that, hey, if you don't do this daily quest today to earn your experience points, you're not going to get another chance until tomorrow. And tomorrow you can't do 2 of this, so you can only get your bonus once a day. So it really makes you kind of get into the mood of, adding in and plugging in and doing more with your dailies and just not really wasting the chance that you get every single day to progress your character. And in this case, your real life character, right? This is your real life character that you were talking about that we want to build up. So definitely really excited about that. And thank you, Joshua, for sharing about it and helping out, making it work. Definitely really excited for that.
No problem.
Well,
Awesome. Yeah, go
if
ahead.
I could actually, speaking of jumping in there, I actually had a point I kind of wanted to add as a question or a thought of these. Are these embeddable as well into our Notion templates for our dailies?
Yeah, they are. So something that was just alluded to, and I guess I'll share a bit now because I'm really excited by it. Basically, what you can do with the app now is you can actually make your own embeds and put them into any page that you like. So for example, I'm going to go into one of my dashboards and I'm going to make it dark mode because that's what I personally use. And this is my personal dashboard, so you guys can kind of see like how I use it in real time. But basically, what you guys can have, oops, I need to just refresh my page so it stays dark mode. Give me a second there. Perfect. So basically what you guys will be able to see is, if I zoom out for a second, there we go. You can see that I can actually embed those leaderboard cards into my Notion page. So for example, I have a party right now with Joshua and Ben. Ashley, come on, get in the party. We need you in here.
I need to get in the app first, but I'll get there. Okay, I'm sorry.
But definitely being able to see like the like how your friends are doing in their own personal journeys is really important to us, right? Obviously, you can embed the entire leaderboard page, but you can also embed specifically for just you and your friends. I think that's really exciting. And then also being able to see like your own character here and see how you're doing in life. Right now, I'm loading a bit slow just because of the streaming and everything. But like, for example, I'll be able to see like, this is my character, my wins this week. Again, very similar to what we've just seen on the app, but you can actually see it inside your Notion page as well, which I think is the most awesome and most intuitive thing about the app that I personally really like using, and hopefully you guys will be using as well. And just really jumping into this and seeing like how everything pulls through, I think it's just a really good experience. So for example, if I handed in something, I'm just going to re-hand in something I handed in yesterday. So I just want to show you something cool. So let's say I improved the player page. I made it more snappy, right? That's something I did. And I'm just going to clear up the shared with family thing because it's something that I shared with family. So once I clear that out, it's going to take like maybe 30 seconds to a minute because I run that job every 30 seconds to pull up the win. But basically that win will end up getting shown in my player page, right? It'll pop up. And again, I get that whole feeling of, oh, I've won, I've accomplished something, I've achieved something. So definitely that's something that really makes this application just really, again, more and more exciting for me and just a pleasure to use. So I think while we're waiting for this, we can talk a bit about the design philosophy for the daily quest, like what our vision for it was. And again, we've had many discussions about this inside our hackathons. We do a hackathon every Saturday night inside the community, but we'll probably rehash some of the ideas, guys. But I think it's good to just share with everybody what we're thinking, and actually here because I normally zoom it out a bit. It looks like that. Yeah, so this is how it will look like on your page, and then you'll be able to open up, celebrate, and get a nice random GIF again. And again, this is just so random. It's so weird.
I honestly really love the random gifts. They just always make you smile, like every time.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
Conrad, what I was specifically alluding to though was the dailies. Is there a dailies embed yet?
So I don't have a dailies embed specifically. Like what you can do actually is you can just take this whole page and you can just embed it. So let me show you how that works since you did ask. I can take this whole page, I can embed it, but I would say that it's not as nice as the other embeds that we've created specifically because those ones don't have a nav bar and everything. Right now, I haven't figured out how to retain your authentication inside your app because you'll keep signing out. And again, I don't think that's a problem if you're okay with that. I think, for example, what's I think Anne-Marie does. Anne-Marie, she just uses it and she just relogs in like every other day. So I think that's fine. But I do find it a bit frustrating that you have to keep logging in and out. So that's why I personally don't use it in here, but you can definitely. So give it a second. Let's see if it does. I'm really on slow internet right now because of all the sharing. Give it a second, guys. Let's see if this is any better. Oh, so yeah, every time you like refresh, I think it signs you out again, which is the really frustrating part. It's good privacy, don't get me wrong, but yes, I think the dailies would still need some additional work if I want to be able to embed a signed-in version of your app, and that's the main thing that's been I've been struggling with to make it all work here. Yeah, but it's a good question. Awesome. So shall we talk a bit about the daily quest? What's it all about? Why should everyone get excited? I think we've had enough intro here. It's time to talk about the nuts and bolts of today's conversation. So basically, what the party quest is, and I will change to a background that represents a party quest, so we can talk a bit about that. It should be, let's do it on here. Parties, details, and then let's do ID equals dev for life. I think this will load. Okay, so while that's loading, basically the idea that we're going about here is the whole perspective of what does multiplayer for personal development even mean? What does multiplayer even mean, right? How do you go on a party quest with others, and how do I make sure that I'm feeling like I'm part of a bigger mission, right? Or a bigger initiative when I'm going out and doing the work that I'm meant to do. So I'll spend only like a minute on this. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this because I think your guys' thoughts are much more interesting than mine. But basically, my thoughts are very simple, right? If I'm going on a quest and it's something tough and it's something I've been putting off, I need motivation for, I want others to know that this is my dragon that I'm fighting. I want others to know that these are the things I'm working on that I should be working on to make this dragon work. I want other people to push me to get to work on this project as much as possible. I want to be able to feel like others are working on their projects, so that it gives me motivation to work on mine, some shared accountability, not to say shared guilt per se, but shared accountability all the same. And ideally, if we all achieve our goals, we want to be able to have a reward that that is indicative of our achievements when we're all on our own missions, right? So we talked a lot about different types of party quests, together with our group here. And I just think there's many different ideas that we all have, we've all found interest in. So maybe we'll go again, whoever wants to speak out, feel free to jump in and just kind of talk a bit about what party quest means to you and why it's important to you at all. And yeah, I'm happy to throw into anybody. Maybe Joshua, you'd like to share a bit about your perspective on it?
I guess sure. I guess for me, like a while ago, I was actually I brought this idea up, which is called accountability squads, and they were like audio. Essentially, it was using an app called Cappuccino, and people would just basically do daily stand-ups. And so in the morning, you can basically say like, or actually, I would usually use it in the evening. So I basically tell people how my day went, and but how it worked for my time anyways, like in the morning, I would hear people's like updates, and they're just inspiring just to like maybe like hear about people's successes or maybe what they learned or what have you. And like it honestly, yeah, it was motivating, it was inspiring. But I think this is going to be a better format for it, especially in the concept of gamification. And so for me, just being able to see that you're not alone in like, we're all in our lives, we are all kind of like trying to like tackle like tasks that are important to our lives. And it'd be just cool just to be a part of a party and just like move forward, whether we have like a limited amount of time to complete it, like via a time challenge, or it's just a big kind of like dragon we're all like trying to surmount in some ways. And then being able to see like the steps to complete or basically take out that dragon. So being in a group for me is what I'm really excited about in regards to the party quest feature.
Yeah, and I really love that you brought in the Cappuccino app into this. Again, I'm not telling anyone to check it out. Probably don't want to, but it was like I wanted to talk about the concept of that because I think it represented a really cool time in our community. What Joshua was referring to was, I think around 6 months ago in our community, we wanted a way to engage everybody in our community more and give us chances to check in with each other asynchronously. We used to have these daily calls at 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. Eastern. I think we had it twice a day, which is crazy if you think about it now. COVID really hit for a lot of us. we had like 2 calls every single day for like an hour each, which was just catching up, right? It's just like, hey, what did you work on? How are you feeling? Anything you need help on. And that's normal stand-up stuff that you would do in a company, but I feel like a lot of people don't get that in your day-to-day life. Nobody's really checking in on you in a way that you appreciate, right? And I think it's not in a nagging sort of way. I think some people may feel that that's something that if it's naggy, that's something they don't want, and definitely that's not what we did. It was rather the ability to go ahead and have the chance to be heard by other people and be connected and feel like there's a sense of progress, because every single day you're meeting new people, you're chatting about how your day's going, and having meaningful discussions about what it means for those things that happen in each of your days. And usually it develops into a very meaningful conversations all the same, which I love. But yes, what this app is going to do above and beyond that, I think, more than just a voice format or video format even, is actually seeing exactly what others are working on and seeing it articulated in a way that is actionable, right? Oh, these are the projects I'm working on. These are the tasks I'm stuck on. These are the tasks I've already done, and then kind of see like what trends there are. Hey, I'm really good at research tasks, but maybe I'm not working so much on actually getting the thing done. Maybe opposite. I'm doing a lot of research, but it's leading me nowhere. How can I actually get to a place I want to get to? And then we can recommend each other, different ways to approach that problem, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah. I think that you're really touching on a key point there, Conrad, which is I think really what draws me in a lot to the party system, which is kind of as someone who really is looking at these systems and trying to figure out the best way to create these kind of feedback loops where you can really get true synergy and growth that is able to make the total product greater than the sum of the parts. And so I think that I'm really excited to see how the party system is going to be able to take these small parties and potentially maybe in the future down the road secret sauce larger parties, but what we would be able to tackle. I am just so interested to see how everyone working together, and as you're saying, all of those different kind of classes of individuals that have all of their different perks and features and skills and talents that they can cross-train with other individuals and help and benefit from each other's experience and benefit from their kind of growth and youth. And I'm just so excited to kind of see how the groups end up being able to pair together.
And I'm so glad you say that too, right? Because I think there's just so many apps that I think have tried to do this, but I don't think got the real understanding of what it means to do something collaboratively. Like there are a lot of apps again that I think have set a good foundation for us that we're learning from, which I very appreciate. I think I love the idea of collaborating and learning from others, and hopefully others can learn from this as well, by the way. If you feel like there's a passion project you want to pursue or there's something that you want to build, definitely I hope this inspires you in some way and gives you the fuel and motivation to pursue your own dreams, and however any way we can help with that, let us know in the chat, right? If you want to hear some of those ideas, how can you pursue your craft and all that, definitely happy to go into it. But the whole idea that you're able to get more because you're part of a party, right? Achieve more because you're motivated by others, right? Find different people that have different strengths that can complement what you're doing, whether they've done the thing you've done before and they're mentoring you, whether there's someone that is more of a nurturing kind of person and they can heal you when you're feeling low and feeling down and not really accomplishing everything you want to accomplish. Just someone that motivates you, like a drill sergeant, just any way that you like to be motivated. We're just really curious how you would use the party system. Definitely we're open for discussions from the whole community. We want to hear what you guys want out of the system because ultimately we're building it for you. And we're supported by you. So obviously everything we do is by the community, for the community. And that's really what we're all about here. Awesome. Ashley, do you have anything to add here in regards to the party mechanics?
I guess I was gonna kind of just bring up like it's like kind of similar to just like body doubling, like where just you being with another person, like, oh, they are working on something, like just knowing like, oh, they're working on their thing, I better work on my thing. Like it's just that in itself is very motivating.
So
I like that this is just like the opportunity to kind of do that, like you said, like asynchronously or like just digitally, right? Especially with like these times and everything. Like it's it'll be a lot easier to kind of like motivate yourself if you have this like community to like back you and everything. So
100%. And I think the key word there is asynchronously, right? So, and also just being able to like, double yourself up there. I think that's, again, a great idea because I think there's been so many times when, you just go and you're tired and you want to just collapse on the bed and then you see, oh wait, someone's working in, co-working in the co-working channels. I should get up and work with them too. And at least that's the experience I've had. And I'm like, okay, well, this works. I'm glad. It's pushing me to go and do more stuff too. So really excited about that. All right, cool. Enough talk. Let's talk about what's exactly happening on this screen. It's been on the background for a while. I know you guys are curious. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the features developed so far. And again, I want to hear from you what you guys think is missing. What do you guys think should be added? Critiques on anything and everything. I'm very happy to get challenged on that because we want to hear all about what you guys have to say. So this is the screen you'll see if you have the party quest already started, right? And you can see that there's a deadline for your party quest to end. And every day until that deadline ends, basically we'll lose 1 health. Again, you can think of the theory as kind of like this, right? When you're fighting a dragon, there's always some chance to lose health. You can get exhausted, you can use your energy up, right? You can get hurt from the risk factors of fighting a dragon. Flames are hot. Who knew? Like just different things that come at you when you're on these adventures that could potentially damage you in any way. But you have to go on that adventure. You have to accomplish what you want to accomplish, and there's no reward without any risk. So you have to go. And normally you're losing health all the time. You just don't know it, right? That's why we have burnout days. That's why we need to recharge. This is a very real concept that happens in real life, and I think games have depicted it pretty perfectly. But how this works for our app is every single day that you're on this challenge, you're losing 1 health. But you can gain health by completing party missions. And what are party missions? Well, party missions are things given by the party leader that says, hey, this is how you can earn hearts every single day. There's going to be a recurring one that says, hey, if you all complete 1 task or 2 tasks or 3, however many the party member leader has decided based on a discussion with everyone in the party, it's like, hey, we want to go for 3 quests a day for this dragon we're facing. We want to do 1 quest a day, 1 task a day, whatever it might be for you, for the leader, they can decide. But basically, you'll have a recurring mission. You also have group missions. So if everybody finishes their 1st quest, if everyone finishes their 10th quest, just different milestones that help everyone get excited by the prospect of accumulating wins together. You'll get more party missions that you complete and get more health out of that, and obviously get more experience points. So it really gives you a way to understand that the more you work together, either if it's just to motivate each other or even if you're working on the same project, the more things that can get done. So I think that's like a really, really cool part of the feature. And I think party mission is something we talk about extensively here. So maybe you guys, if anybody wants to jump in and talk about party quests, definitely party missions, definitely feel free, because my idea stopped and ended at complete recurring tasks. I think you guys had some really cool ideas that I'd love to highlight.
Sure.
Yeah, Ben, go ahead.
Yeah, so just different missions. So if I'm trying to understand, is this the level where we're comparing the time challenges or your dragons, or is this specifically for the dragons?
This is specifically for the dragons. We haven't talked about the different challenges yet. This is for the 1 challenge first. We'll share more about the other challenge later.
Sure. Yeah. Just wanted to clarify. But so one of the main ones I would say for the dragons is if I would think about a longer scale mission where you'd be doing something as a goal, right? And then you'll be breaking all of the separate party tasks down. One of the things that I have at that level is habits, right? When I want to maintain something regular and routine. So not even just tasks, but something that I want to start developing, start doing. It's maybe it's not as critical and important as maintaining and doing tasks, but it's, I would like to develop something, or I want to be able to keep track of a more routine action than just having a ticker of how productive have I been today.
Okay, so can you elaborate a bit more? So you mean the dragon itself is going to be on a goal level instead of a project level?
Well, no, just being able to not just say tasks, right? But so if at some point we had wins that were not just up and down the kind of like task hierarchy, right? If you had something that was more adjacent to that task hierarchy, then there may be separate groups for that, right? There may be parties that may be specifically for those things.
Yeah, 100%. Like I can imagine this idea just evolving more and more. People are doing challenges based on like just daily habit challenges, right? Exercising every single day, or exercising like I think the sky's the limit for the types of party quests there can be, and then the different types of missions that people can go on. So definitely on with you for that. Yeah. And Jackie's asking if the party missions restart. They do. So if they have this icon, this like refresh icon, then they will reset. And if they don't, for example, things like, accomplishing your first win, or also, accumulating a certain number of wins and stuff like that, definitely those will be one time. But again, you guys give me ideas. Whatever kind of party missions that you guys want to throw in, very happy to integrate it, because really the sky's the limit here, and we're always looking for more feedback on what to include.
Oh, can I add something?
Please.
Okay, so in regards to these party missions, I'm guessing, so you have like a recurring icon there. So essentially, is it like it's available each day?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. If anything, what I find interesting about this is I think this incentivizes people to make sure that their tasks are broken down and like into like quite a few like smaller pieces, just to help, I guess, how can I say it? Just so that people aren't, because people may have like, let's say they have projects where their tasks are kind of like, there are many like, it would probably take quite a few days to complete each task, but then that could be a way, that could be telling them like, oh, maybe you should kind of like break things down a little bit differently, so that you basically take smaller chunks of these tasks, and then this will ensure that you don't basically lose all your health essentially. So I think this is an interesting design that could incentivize good habits.
I completely agree with that, and I think something that is my passion here is really taking these ideas that we know to be really sound, right? Everybody knows, hey, start with small tasks, right? Don't have big tasks. Don't have tasks that span, days, weeks, months. But I don't think it's very tough for a lot of us to execute on those ideas. It's not very intuitive to us, especially when we're in the nitty-gritty of working on those things. So I love any and every concept that gives you a system that helps you by already baking in those principles as part of its fundamentals, and then helping you passively in that way where you're learning about the fundamentals and then you're picking it up, and then the habit of using that system ends up reinforcing that over time. And that's exactly the philosophy that the templates that are offered in the Co-x3 Family Toolbox are built on. And the same thing about what you just mentioned here, Joshua, and I really glad that you highlighted that. I think that's like a really strong point. I think there's 2 points too. Like it's like it's not only breaking it down, but also making sure you get those quests done. Because like, for example, like I myself have so much use for this. There's some projects that are just straight up scary for me, right? There are things that like I'm not touching with a 10-foot pool, but I know they have to be touched. They have to be completed. And just really ensuring that there's someone watching me and saying, hey, you want to complete your task, otherwise you're going to lose health, and if you lose several health, you're going to need healing. Well, that's definitely an incentive for me, for sure.
Yeah,
Actually, sorry if I'm interrupting. But I just thought of an idea for like as kind of an alternative to like this party mission. If it's kind of like if everybody in like if it's like maybe something it's like exercise every day, for instance, just as an example. If like there's like an extra bonus reward for like everyone in the party did it, like so it's kind of an all or nothing kind of thing. Like everyone in the party needs to do it, or else you don't get your daily thing.
100%
for that day.
Like what that reminds me of is like, I don't know if you guys ever did those big scale like raids in like those MMORPGs, but like everyone has like a task to do, like or even puzzles, some collaborative puzzles. Everyone has to press like a button at the same time. If one person doesn't press, nobody can advance. So that could be pretty cool, right?
So just like the whole party fails with like just one person messing up.
Like I could imagine that we can set like a difficulty level for the parties in the future. No?
Oh, that would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have some like really hardcore parties that's like, hey, hardcore members only, right? And they're like, you don't do one quest a day, you already fail. And the whole party fails. So like there's really some like intense motivation there. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. People can create their own like challenges, right, in that way, and have their own difficulty levels for the parties that they're starting. See, guys, I told you already. Ashley's gonna come up with gold here.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, challenge point.
Let's do it.
So, I will admit I'm still a little new to the health system. That one came very
That
rapidly.
came very
And-
recently. Yeah. So no
Yes.
worries.
Yeah. So I've been kind of crafting an idea, and I think this is the finally being able to bring it through. But so I think along with this health, especially since it's very much ticking down. I mean, this is kind of, it's a survival RPG called Life, right? And I think that there do need to be points where, not just you're sleeping every day, but you need to be able to have like short rests. But I think that those would be a thing that you really need to be able to have as a full activity, that you will not just, you would normally take damage for not completing your things for a day. This is very different than that. Like it's, if you're able to realize that you're low on health, right? You are not doing well. You are not hitting your benchmarks. This is a mechanism that you need to reassess and get back on the wagon, as I kind of like to say, of just really making sure that your process is back where you want it to be, right? And then you can refocus and realign. And to be able to kind of pair both of those, that like when you are getting low, that you need healing, right? That not just is there the community there, but there are also mechanisms that, okay, yeah, everyone on my team is a little low. I mean, we're really in it. We're challenging, right? Okay, I'm really low. I need to be able to pick myself back up. Either go back and look at my reference material here, or if I need to, take a legitimate breather, some kind of stepping away from the situation. Because I mean, especially in those really, really tight situations where it's going to be really high action, we need to be able to have some kind of way to get back in the action, right? To invigorate ourselves.
So
like incentivizing like self-care.
yes, that's what I'm
Yes.
thinking. Very cool. Wait. So let me throw a few ideas out and then see what sticks. Okay. I think this is a very cool topic, Ben. Appreciate you bringing it up. I think self-care is something we emphasize a lot in this community, and just like for myself to think, right? If I ever notice that my health is running low for a specific project, there's two things that generally might be happening. There's probably more, but two things come to mind. The first thing is I'm burned out, right? I was like, oh, I've worked a lot on other stuff. I'm burned out. I haven't been working on this project for like 7 days because I've just been burned out. I can't bother touching it, and now I'm health 3 out of 10, right? So that could happen very, very concretely. And then also another case that could happen is, oh, this project is just straight up, haunting me, right? There's things about this project I don't like, and then I'm blocked on this, and whatever, right? So the way that I would personally go about self-care, and perhaps we'll go around the room here and hear what you guys have to say. The way I would personally go about self-care is, well, if it's the former, then I would try to do something relaxing, right? I would try to meditate, perhaps, right? A meditation exercise would be important for me. I would do something like, maybe take a quick, a little break, have some nice food, have a dessert I might like, go out on a bike ride, do some exercise, get some endorphins in me, whatever it might be, just something that gets me out of that negative headspace. Another thing that I would do, and this is a nod to Anne-Marie, who is currently in the chat right now, and the ability to be able to analyze what exactly is frustrating me about this project, right? Breaking it down with, some cognitive behavioral therapy, really self-regulating yourself and understanding what's going on and asking the right questions to break down the negative feelings that are behind that. And what I'm imagining right now is, if I'm low health, there'll be like a panel that opens up. It's like, hey, you're low health. These are the things you can do to gain more health. Do a meditation exercise. Ask a friend for help. Talk to, a mentor. I don't know. Do Anne's SRT template thing. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. And maybe these are crazy ideas. I'm just throwing stuff, see what hits. But anything resonating with you guys right now?
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. So I don't know if you've ever tried or heard of a popular Switch game called Ring Fit. But it's a game where it's really fitness focused, where you have a character and you're in these kind of fights, and you have these different moves you're selecting to use, but you're essentially choosing your workout routine through these different moves, right? But one of the focuses there is you're able to regain health by kind of doing a lot of these poses, stretches, to be able to kind of ease back on some of the action, regain calm.
Sorry, it's like specifically for the yoga poses.
Sure.
Just wanted to note.
Okay, so someone's better at Ring Fit than I am. Clearly, they've been putting the hours in. But the thing I think is key there is that it can't always just be go, right? There has to be able to be some kind of recentering, to be a healing, right? If we're only kind of attacking the day and we're never focused on healing ourselves, right? Then no wonder there's a question of burnout. I mean, that's just a sheer inevitability of the direction we're heading.
Yes. I love it. Absolutely love it. Joshua and Ashley, anything you guys want to throw in?
Can you explain more about the self-care aspects?
Yeah, so let's just recap for a second, right? Just to get everyone on page. So I might be losing 1 health a day if I don't do a task, right? And then what Ben is saying is that, let's say I hit critical health, maybe 3 or 4 health out of 10. I get, my idea here was I'll get a dialog box that opens. It's like, hey, you're low health. Here's what you can do to fix that, right? Or recover. That's not called fix, but recover. And you can think about it maybe just think about it, if you want a game analogy, it's like, hey, I'm low health. I need a potion, obviously, right? If it's not a potion, I need to go to the Pokemon Center to heal. If it's not the Pokemon Center to heal, I need, I don't know why Pokemon references are coming up. I need a bed to sleep in, and then I'll get healed up as well, right?
Short rest.
Yeah, a short rest, whatever it might be. Or if you're playing Zelda, because I know Ashley likes Zelda, you might collect some hearts, right? And then you'll also be
Fairy bottle.
Fairy bottle, exactly, right? So everyone has their own every game has their own way of recovering HP, and basically it all revolves around either ingesting something, right? Going to a certain location, doing a certain thing, a certain task. And in this way, I'm just thinking that the equivalents in real life would be things like, meditating, things like, doing your secret pleasure, whatever it might be, resting, definitely sleeping in or something like that. So that's what I was thinking, having a panel that opens up that gives you all these options. And if you did one of those, you'd automatically recover, a few health, and then everyone would know what you did to recover the health. So that it's like, hey, okay, so they were low health and then they raised. So maybe even having an audit trail of different things that happen to each player as we go on every day, so that there's a list of things we can kind of see. It's like, oh, Conrad
so
just
a timeline.
healed himself. Yeah, a timeline. Oh, even perfect, guys, a timeline. Just having a timeline. Yeah. Ashley!
What?
A timeline, yes, a timeline, and then just seeing different points every single day, what happened for each person. Oh my god!
Oh, so actually tracking when each day a thing happened and stuff.
I mean, maybe not so crazy, but at least accumulating everything, right? I'm just imagining a line, right? And then you'd have 3 wins completed today by Conrad, by Ben, by Ashley.
Actually, for Party Crest, that would make a lot of sense, because I'm picturing almost you're traveling to the dragon. Yeah, you're going kind of down the map, to down your route, and just kind of oh, there's highlights. Oh, we ran into this pack of wolves or something, in a D&D campaign or something. So it's just kind of and then also that's really great for just looking back on your old on your actual progress throughout the whole thing, because just looking back on progress is also motivating, because it's hey, look, I've got this far, I can keep going, right?
Yeah. So one thing before I'm gonna throw it to others as well, but one thing that has been really exciting for me, there's this really cool game right now called Gartic Phone. I don't know if anybody here knows about it, but basically it's Broken Telephone. But some people have made a online game version of it where one person comes up with a prompt, the next person only sees the prompt, has to draw an image based on that prompt. Next person only sees the image, has to recreate the prompt based on that image. And this is like
yeah, I think I've played a game similar, if it's not the same one.
yeah,
but
there's a board
I
game
think
similar as well. It's complete chaos at the end because you lose all context at the beginning. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is in this online version, they've made a GIF that shows the passage of time of the initial prompt and how it evolved with all the images in between. So, and that GIF is shareable, right? And it's really cool. But imagine there's a similar GIF here that could automatically be generated, or image, whatever, that just shows the timeline of your adventure with your friends. Hey, these are all our dragons that we're facing, and it kind of shows up in the midair. This is the path that everyone went on. Oh, we were very successful in the first, but then we hit a troll and then we got blocked, right? And then I'm guessing we can pick like different themes if you want, like, a space fantasy theme, or if you want like, a medieval theme, or if you want like, I think someone in our community like zombies, a zombie theme. And basically it's like, oh, you hit a barricade, you have to go back. Oh, you've injected yourself with some, regeneration potion thing, and then you healed 2 points, and then just showing like your journey through that. Okay, this is definitely above and beyond MVP, but like just thinking out loud on that train of thought. I don't know, it's exciting for me.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Plus in regards to like showing like those gifts and everything like that, we can set specific thresholds. It's like, well, because this party member could have like had to take a potion or use one of those suggestions, and it's like, okay, we can use that to determine that, oh, this is when someone in the party like hit a hurdle in some ways, and so I think we can easily do that. But I think in general,
kind of like celebrate it too. Sorry.
Yeah, seriously. And then I do like the idea of offering suggestions if people are low at health. That's cool. And also in regards to actually like timeline idea, I think that'd be nice, because I think that will incentivize people to maybe become less reliant on making use of that. Like, well, the good thing is when they see that, they'll be able to see they'll be able to like know that that's available to them. But in some ways, like seeing that timeline and seeing maybe like you not having to use them as often for me, I feel like that would be pretty motivating to say, oh, well, I didn't need much help like a week later compared to what happened in the past. So that shows the progress that I'm making.
So if I understand you correctly, and I might not, so let me know if I misinterpreted your words in any way. But basically the way I'm hearing you is using it as like a record of your achievements so that you feel like you're making progress in the projects that you're meant to do. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. It's just that, like, let's say I need some healing, basically, or at least I was low on health, and then I saw those suggestions. I completed one of them. I restored some health, and then I saw a record of that in the timeline, basically. But like next week, let's say I didn't need anything, basically. I was doing better, and just being able to see the comparison of like now and then, it's like I feel like that would time bump me up in terms of the fact that I'm making more progress.
I hear you completely. I would also throw in one more thing. I think great ideas. I will throw in one more thing, and this is a nod to Ben's direction, because I think this is where Ben's alluding to it, and I also have heard other people in the community talk about this. But the fact that even straight productivity is not something that is entirely healthy for someone. You might end up with burnout. Because right now the way that it works is that if you do a task a day or whatever the goal is, you will never lose health, basically, right? You'll always maintain your full health. But I would agree that if you do that for like 7 days in a row, you might want to have a rest day for yourself. So I don't know if we should enforce like a mandatory, like, hey, you've done 7 tasks in a row. Unlucky, you got hit by a meteoroid. No, unlucky, you got hit by a meteoroid, right? or you fell into a hole somewhere. Like, just some random event happens to you, and then it's like, shoot, I lost 2 health. Now I got to like take a break or something.
And then you're locked out of the app and just like go outside. Take a break. It's like the Nintendo consoles. Like I don't know if you played DS, but because like I remember like after a while, like they were like kids aren't going outside. We should have like a timer so that way they go outside.
Yeah, I think if we have that problem,
I think it was the Wii
that did it. Yeah. No, I think if we have that, it'll be a good problem to have. It means everything's working and people are being more productive. We just want to make sure they don't burn out at the same time.
Yes.
But
Agreed. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's good. Ben, did I capture your point nicely there?
Yeah, I think that we've kind of evolved kind of the idea into a whole kind of new space. So I'm glad to see where we might be able to take it.
100%, 100%. No, again, the ideas that come out, gold, guys, gold. I gotta say. um, okay, let's finish talking up about this as well. We're wrapping up a little bit. We have around I'd say 5 to 10 minutes left of the stream. If we want to add more stuff at the end, definitely. But for now, the main content, let's keep it within an hour. But definitely, just moving on to share more, right? There's a status thing that we can show. And again, I think the status thing can fit directly into the timeline view. It's like, hey, on the 7th day, Conrad says he needs healing. Why, right? And then on the 10th day, maybe Ashley said she finished her project. So she was the first one to finish or something. Maybe there's like a little competition there for something like that. Again, I don't know 100% all the incentives. We'll figure this out as we go. But again, this is the fun part about it, right? Now that we have an actual app, things are going to be so much better in terms of like understanding user behavior, understanding how to incentivize each other. Like so far, just for your reference, like the way I've been doing this is like occasional surveys, right? And asking people in the community when they join in on the calls, on our weekly calls and not, and just asking questions. But I think this will give us more of a quantitative look into how everyone's working with the productivity systems and everything. So I think this is really good. I think it'll be really fun. And then also, I showed a bit of this earlier, but just really seeing the leaderboard. Right now I have 2 people in here as an example, but you can see the project that I'm fighting, the project that someone else is fighting, the page ID of that in Notion, because it all connects back to Notion. And really the cumulative stats that we have, right? How many quests I've completed for this one thing. This is just examples, right? But you can see like all the quests I've completed, all the XP that's related to that, all and everything. And the best part is, I think, again, it works completely on mobile. So on mobile, it looks really, really nice. I spent some time to make sure that works. But yeah, on mobile, you can just see your party mission. You can complete them. You can also see the leaderboard and scroll through. Again, right now, I'm not setting a cap on how many party members you can have. So the sky's the limit. And of course, you can also embed this specific view into your pages as well, which I think is super, super exciting. Yeah. I've been ignoring chat a little bit. I'm sorry. I know you guys have been having a really interesting conversation in chat. Let me bring up some of the conversations in there. I know Lisa has shared something really cool. I'm just going to scroll up for a second and just take a look there. Yeah, so I think everyone's been talking about like tiny wins being important. And again, I completely agree. I hope that the app encourages everyone to break down their wins. And I wouldn't even call it tiny, because maybe tiny has a bad connotation, but more like achievable wins, right? Wins that you can accomplish within 30 minutes to an hour, if not at the most an hour and a half to 2 hours, because I think the more things you can check off, the better you feel about it, and then the more you can do. And if you have just like this one thing that keeps looming over you, and every time you tackle it, it's going to take you another 2 hours, 4 hours, and you're never going to check it off, I think that's a bit demotivating for your productivity, and that's definitely frustrating. But yeah, what we're hoping to do is to have this feature out by the end of this weekend. At least the MVP version of it. I definitely think the timeline stuff, great ideas, definitely not I think implementable this weekend. But I think the basic version of this will be out by this weekend, so you guys can try it out with some basic party missions that you guys can join, and really start building your own use cases. The difficulty variances, I think, can also be very cool. I think what eventually could happen is, just to show you, this will be like the admin view. You can change your daily targets, the deadline, and everything like that. But what I'm imagining is, if you have like these kind of parties that are doing things like, hey, you lose 3 health a day, right? Or number of random things that happen to you, like randomness that happens to you that makes you lose health, will be like a 4. Like different variables that change the difficulty of it will then end up getting calculated and reflected in the main page where you would apply for different parties, and you'll be able to see like, hey, this is going to be a hardcore party versus this is going to be more like a relaxed, take it easy party. This party is going to be all about, you know, whatever. And by the way, everything's customizable. So for in this case, this party is all about dev projects, right? Supporting each other on dev projects. But also you might have a party that's all about exercise. You might have a party that's all about, you know, self-actualization. You might have a party that's all about connecting with family, right? Maybe you guys have a group of people that all, you know, want to connect better with family members, and you all need that boost of motivation. It's like, hey, she contacted her cousin Sally, so I'm going to contact my aunt, you know, May, and just so on and so forth. I think sky's the limit for this feature, and this is probably going to be the thing that really takes our gamification to the next level. So I'm super excited. I don't know about you guys.
Same. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes. Ant's asking, can you be on more than one party? The answer is going to be yes. I think I will limit it to 3 though, because if you're part of more than 3 parties, I'm not sure how you're going to finish all those obligations. So 3 parties is going to be your limit. Also, exciting news, we're going to be nominating up to, I think our number will be up to 5 party leaders to start off this initiative. Only party leaders right now can start parties. So right now we're going to be selecting 5 lucky people inside our community to act as party leaders in this app. It will be people that have already been using the app for some time, right? So someone on the top leaderboards primarily, someone that has cool ideas for the party quest, and we'll have like a form and everything for you to fill out so we can capture our ideas, because we really want to make sure that the first batch of parties that come out are really strong and have really good results, so we know exactly what to improve and what not to improve, and make sure everyone stays going. So that's something definitely worth thinking about. Very cool. Ashley and Ben, do you have anything you'd like to add for the party quest in terms of the conversation here before we close off and move on to other topics?
No, I think I'm fully ready to go ahead and move on to the code.
Awesome. So one thing sorry, Ashley as well. Yeah, didn't give you a chance.
See, I think I'm good to move on too. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so normally for our live streams, here, we keep them to an hour. Just as usually we build something cool. At this time, I think we showed more of the building process, and I think one part of the building process, just to close off our stream here, and obviously we'll do more developing in the community. We'll jump onto a channel probably, I don't know if today or tomorrow, but we're going to be on for the weekend and working on this. So definitely jump in and interact with us if you see us working. But something that I think is something relevant to talk about is, I think when people see like a project like this, right? Obviously, one is like, wow, it's impressive, right? That people were able to build this. But also, I feel like some people think it's out of reach. And I want to dispel that myth for everybody here, because I think there's a lot that we end up building in our minds that stop us from achieving what we want to achieve. And something that I've been really passionate about is helping others, especially within the community, to realize your own potential and realize that a lot of things you are able to do if you know the right ways to go about it, right? Have the right knowledge, and also know the right steps to take action. And honestly, I think that's going to be the pinnacle of what I want to do here in the community, is to share with everybody ways that they can achieve their creative dreams and passions, and be a support in however that happens. So let me give you some facts about this project. And these are facts that everybody in the community can collaborate. And so I'm not just making it up. These are real things, so that hopefully gives you the confidence that you can do it too. So I think this project was first started, obviously I've been thinking about this app for a long time. The design and architecture was thought about, but our initial release was in June the 12th. And I had only started downloading everything to build this, including the developer, the database environment, the Visual Studio Code even, which is what I use to code the whole app and everything. I started that on June 7th, okay? So it was 1 week hackathon that I got the initial release down, which basically took advantage of the newly released Notion API. That they released an SDK on JavaScript, and I was able to connect that to pull in wins and had the very first MVP version, which just had your character. You could change your avatar, you could change your name, and you can see your wins. But that was pretty much it. It was like a very bare bones initial version of the app, and that took 1 week. And that was with no prior experience with React. I didn't have any React training. We'll say I did have some database development training in terms of my positions at my old company, but definitely nothing to the point where I was able to code. So the first lesson I want to share there is not to really tout about my achievement at all, and I hope it doesn't come across that way, but rather just to share that many times, and I've fallen prey to this before too. It's like, hey, I want to take a coding class, right? I signed up for coding boot camps back in the day. I tried Angular 4 at the time, if anyone remembers that. Google's failed code project. They took that down after I learned everything, which is fun. But also, like different HTML courses and stuff like that. None of it ever stuck. And that was because I never had something I wanted to build towards. And what I found with this project and many other projects that I've done is if I have something I want to build, a feature I want to build, and I learn about specific things to do with that feature, it always makes it retain in my mind, and because I have found a purpose for that knowledge. If I'm just learning for the sake of learning with no real app that I want to build, no real goal I want to build, I'll never pick it up. I've wanted to pick up coding for so long. I have to be very honest. I've never done it because I've never had an app I wanted to build. I've always just relied on no-code tools and stuff like that, like Notion, where I built whatever I wanted. And again, it's all fine and that. But it was only when I had something custom I wanted to build and something I really wanted in my own life. Again, this has helped me in many, many ways. That's when I was able to really find a motivation to learn it and learn it fast. And again, like I said, within a week, I really think anybody can learn how to code if you're of average intelligence. And I think everybody watching this video is at least of average intelligence here, if not more. I think of all you guys as amazing, amazing people. That's the first point I want to make. And if Ashley, Ben, or Joshua have anything you'd like to say there, even if you wanted to challenge, right, what I'm saying, please do. I want to really make sure that this is an experience that everyone can learn from. So I have a few points to make on this journey. This is the first one. I'll talk also about like budget constraints and time constraints and stuff like that. But for now, definitely feel free to jump in.
I can add something.
Sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like there's so many resources out there that's available when it comes to technology, when it comes to coding, design, so on. I would call myself like a resource junkie. I often find that people ask me for things. It's like, oh, you can find it here, or you can use this website as well. But like, I can totally understand how you could quickly get up to speed with the technologies that were used for this app, based on all the resources that are available, that are out there. And yeah, it's like just take some initiative. It's like it's like someone said, like I don't know, like just work on it maybe like for just 2 minutes, and oftentimes that just causes you to keep completing tasks related to whatever you're working on. But it just takes initiation, in my opinion, or initiative.
Definitely. And I think a caveat to add there, and I'll pass it on to Ben and Ashley if they want to add anything, but a caveat to add there too is that I don't want you to feel bad about not taking initiative about anything. I think it's fine if it just means you haven't found a strong enough impetus yet to do the things that to do whatever project that is that you thought you wanted to do. My thought process on this is if you really wanted to do it, you would have found a way to do it, right? So if you haven't yet and you do feel like it's something that you want to build, some creative project you want to work on, you really have to question, why you haven't worked on it yet, and don't feel bad about the answer. Just analyze it calmly, logically, ideally, and just try to understand where you're being blocked, and then from there work towards the real thing that you want to build. Because many times you might have an idea that, hey, I want to build this because of X reason, Y reason, Z reason, whatever it might be, and you end up realizing that that's not the real reason why you want to build it, and that's why you're not motivated to make any moves towards it. So definitely, don't look at it with a negative light, but rather look at it with a positive light. Hey, because I haven't done it yet, it means that there was something else I wanted to build, or some other thing I wanted to pursue, or maybe some other goal I wanted to achieve with this creative project, and that's why I haven't done it yet. And therefore, now that I'm being more intentional about what I really want, I'm able to then find the passion and the energy to, figure out the resources I need to get this done. Yeah. Ben, Ashley, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. Yeah, if I could hop in. I mean, I guess going back to a little bit of the specifically to some of the potential people out there who have been wanting to code or have been learning to code. I feel like that a lot of people tend to try to approach learning a programming language similarly to the way that they have been taught to approach learning a written or oral language, of just like reading up on it in a book, watching some videos, and trying, just seeing if they can get it to work. And I think in reality, it ends up being a little bit more about building fluency. And the best way to do that is to just be able to go into a sandbox environment and start building things out, test it out for yourself. Because it's one thing to be able to say, oh, hey, this is, these are, these grouping of characters together will make this thing happen. It's a whole nother thing together to try and write, your first functions, build up some of your first code, and you learn some of that logic yourself. And over time, you can learn the best practices. But the other thing is that's a moving goalpost, right? I mean, even today, amongst us, we were talking about how we were using one React hook, but it may be more efficient that we should refactor our code to use a different type of hook. And just at any point, you should realize that there may be a better tool, and you should instead learn how to make the product and then focus on how to learn how to use the tool better after you started making something.
100% agreed. And I think this is where I'll bridge into a second point here. And actually, if you want to later, when you add in, if you want to add back to the first point, definitely feel free. But I can't miss this opportunity to bridge this second point, which is so important, is figure out what is your MVP. MVP stands for minimum viable product. Okay? What is the minimum version of your app that will make sense, that would attract the users that you want, even if it's your own yourself? What is the most basic version of what you want to build, right? You always have to be very strict with that. Otherwise, feature creep will happen and you'll have way too many things that you want to build, and you won't ever think of publishing, even if you're building the thing, because you think that it's not done yet, it's not perfect. Well, guess what? It's never going to be perfect, right? You have to acknowledge that and figure out what is your most basic version you can live with that can just go out. And I really think the idea of just hit publish is so important, because it's only by hitting publish that you figure out what really works with everybody. And the philosophy here is really being stringent with your there's a word for this. Be abundant in your creativity, but be stringent with your execution. You only have a certain limited time in your day. You only have a certain limit of resources that you have. Focus on executing what will actually work. And if you don't know what will work, just focus on delivering what you think is the most basic version, and people will tell you what works, right? And I think that is a part I can't overemphasize. And then I'll bridge that, of course, to my third point of the day, which will be, actually I have 4 points, but my third point, which will be about collaboration. But yeah, Ashley, I don't want to skip you. Anything you wanted to add?
Well, yeah, I guess specifically with coding projects, it's just like code, it's super easy to make mistakes in, but also it's really easy to fix, because like Joshua said, there's so many resources to figure out kind of the right way to do it. And also even if you make a mistake, you can always just rewrite it, and in whatever better tool, like Ben was saying, with using a different kind of React hook, right? It's just oh, that's actually not the best way to do this, but we can then go back and like apply that fix to make it work better or cleaner or whatever the priority is. And
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just like it's okay to like fail the first time, right? Like,
It's okay
yeah.
to fail many, many times.
Yeah.
100%. It's only by falling that you can get back up. And I want to also like, and by the way, it's not even just falling. You're falling forward, right? Every fall you make is in a forward direction. You're still moving, right? Which is the most important thing. But another really important thing to say here is that my philosophy, my personal philosophy in this, and it has brought me so much success in my life, and hopefully I can impart it on to everyone watching now and in the future, is don't be attached to your tools. Tooling will change all the time. Tooling will get better, okay? Tooling can only get better from here. If you get too attached to the tools, right? If you learn only, for example, one coding language, right? And you're unable to move on to another coding language and learn that, and you're like, oh, I've always done it that way, and because that's all you know, unfortunately, that's going to be a limiting mindset for you in terms of what you can achieve in the future. At least that's my personal philosophy. If you feel free, anybody, if you like in the comments or anything you want to challenge me on that, definitely feel free, but hear me out why I'm saying this. Why I'm saying this is because when you want to build something, especially some creative project you want to share, what's most important is you want to create your vision. Your vision, is it really about using that technology, that specific technology to build what you want? Or is it really just building what you want, right? Getting that end result. You have to figure out what exactly you want to achieve. Again, if your creative project is, hey, I want to, many creative projects like this, I want to use some special, painting style to paint a picture, great. That is your craft, and that makes sense that you have to stick to a specific tooling. But if your project is about achieving a certain goal, in this specific case for me, I wanted to have a way to have multiplayer for personal development. I wanted to see my stats not on just Notion, but on an app that I can embed anywhere, that's snappy, that's quick, that's going to give me visual effects when I submit wins. Then that's what I want. It's not that I want to use React to build this. It's not that I want to use, Ruby on Rails or whatever other tooling I could have used. That doesn't matter at all. Zero. On top of that, I'm not attached to my code. I can scrap all of this tomorrow and rewrite it again if it's going to give me 10 times the improvements. I don't mind. I'm building everything with the intention for it to be all replaced within 1 to 6 months, because that's just what might happen. Things might change, right? We might get other developers that can help us. We might find a much better tooling that helps us build all of this in like a second versus not a second, in like a week versus in the 1.5 months that we took for this. There's just so many things that could happen between now and then that I cannot afford to be attached to what we have. Future-wise, also, I'm expecting all of it to be wrong or all of it to be right. I have no idea, right? I'm just building what I think works and then releasing quickly so I can fail quickly, right? And learn from that experience so others can tell me exactly where I can improve. Again, that's a very important philosophy if you want to build startups and if you want to build products that work. And even if you don't want it to be a great success, if that's not what you're looking for, that's fine. Just this philosophy will still serve you very well if you want to build something that you're proud of. Because to have something you're proud of, you have to start with something that is a raw, unpolished gem, and then eventually polish it over time. It's with consistency that you get results, right? So that's another very important point. And thank you, Ashley, for browsing those ideas and bringing them up. I think it's very, very important. I also want to bridge on the third and fourth points, and I fear I'm being a bit long-winded here, but hopefully this is important information for anybody who's interested in doing this. I know we have a lot of students in the community as well as fresh grads, and I want to give you the hope that there's more that you can do than just going straight to a 9 to 5, or even if you're a 9 to 5 right now, and again, that's nothing's wrong with that. If you have creative passions, I want to give you the confidence that you can pursue it. And my third point about this is working out loud is so important, and that's being able to work out loud, right? Share what you're working on, your works in progress, your early releases, whatever it might be. And we had a good example in the community, actually. Someone called Kelvin joined us around a month back and has been observing all our work. And he made his own website to talk about gamification. Because of that, he ended up streaming it on Twitch and having us join in that celebration of the launch of his website. And again, he's just sharing his build process out loud. He joins us in the community channels to work on it, in public. And because of that, he's able to share and get feedback from us in real time on his projects. And again, I think we're, in some ways experts on this idea of gamification, so he was in the right crowd. But I want to give you the perspective that by sharing what you're working on out loud, you'll always find the right people to help you where you need to be helped. Whether they're giving you the right advice at the right time, whether they're giving you the right feedback, right? They're looking at your stuff, or even just giving you the moral support that you can do it. Working out loud has been the singular most important thing that has helped me build whatever I wanted to build. And the collaboration, the effects of collaboration and co-creating for your projects cannot be understated. And that's something I really, really feel passionate about, and wanted to come across. Anyone here want to add anything to that? Don't be shy.
I guess I can ask something about time, or do you want to move that to you want to do that in future?
Okay, so yeah, we can jump to time. I think everybody in this call already understands collaboration, so that's why we don't need to add anything to that, which is great. But so let's talk about last point, number 4, and this is the last one we'll end off on, and I'm sure everyone here has some thoughts about that because I think everyone here has a full-time job, myself included. Okay, so time, resources is time and money. Okay, that's the golden rule. For time, I want to state, if you are of average intelligence, and that's the bare minimum we're talking about here. I believe everyone here in this group is more than average intelligence. You can build things very quickly as long as you pick it up and you spend the time to learn. And if you are motivated enough to pursue what you really want, right? If the end result is motivating for you in some way. So I think time, even just spending the weekends to work on something, is really important. For myself, I do a full-time job. I run a startup, and I have a lot of responsibilities there. I do a lot of stuff. I have a 9 to 9 actually, 9 to like 8. I work around 10 to 11 hours a day, right, on my company. And that's something that I would do, right? But I would spend at least, what Joshua said, at least 1 hour at every day working on something to do with Co-x3, and on the weekends I will dedicate my full weekend to Co-x3, like doing my live streams on Saturdays and more stuff like that. So I just wanted to share that even by doing something on the side, you can get a lot done, as long as you dedicate the consistent hours every single day, as well as giving up some of your weekend hours to do it, right? I don't think it personally is a sacrifice. I use the words giving up because maybe you guys have more fun things to do than what I do on the weekends. But whatever it might be, I really see the community as the best thing I can do with my time, right? Weekends or otherwise. So that's something that I wanted to share, is that time is important. I think Joshua also mentioned, he sets, I think Joshua has a really impressive methodology there. Maybe you can share. I think 5 a.m. you wake up and then you get cracking on it.
Yeah. So I can talk more about it. I learned about it from these 2 designers from this podcast called Design Life, and so they would wake up basically before work and work on their side projects and then go to work. So yeah, so for me, I'm basically waking up at I'm usually known as a night owl, but basically it's okay, go to bed at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m., and then wake up at 5 a.m., and then let's say I can spend 2 hours, and then I'm done at 7, and then get ready and begin work at 8 a.m. And so far that's been working pretty well. So either be working on this specific application or working on my other side projects as well. But yeah, so far I've been enjoying that setup that I've devised for myself.
And just to add on to, I think, Ben and Ashley's point, which is there's always a sandbox environment where you can work on your things and be supported in any way. I think something that people end up underestimating is the fact that even work an hour a day can do for you, right? Just as an example, right? An hour a day, I ended up being able to push out updates every day. So for every day since or every 2 days, I end up after a while, every few days, I was able to push a new feature to the app, right? And that was just from an hour of coding, an hour or 2 of coding a day. And again, I'm saying this with the intention to share that you can do it too. And I want to let you know that it can be done with the time constraints that you have, even if you work a 9 to 5, without having to give up the stability of whatever your career is giving you, right? And in terms of resources, in terms of money, I just want to let you guys know like the overall budget of this, right? Again, I'm always of the perspective that everything you build should be built as cheap as possible, obviously with the highest quality, but just as cheap as possible, because you don't know if it'll work or not, right? Just build it as cheap as possible, not compromising on quality, but just figuring out where you can deploy things to have the cheapest effect. That's why I shared a lot of materials about how can you publish yourself online, how can you make your first websites online for free, how can you put yourself, have a global presence without even having to spend $1, right? That's something that I've been very passionate about, because I think many of us don't want to invest in it until we know that it's something that can help us sustain a livelihood, right? If there's some way to generate revenue from it. So this app is built using 3 technologies. I'll just be very clear. First technology is React. We use a React library called Next.js. Next.js is free library. React is free in general, open source. So that's been very, very nice. I code on the free tool Visual Studio Code. Again, it's a free tool. It's just a coding editor. You can do it on Notepad if you wanted to, but I definitely don't recommend doing it on Notepad. But Notepad++, not just Notepad. But Visual Studio Code. I use Supabase, which is a company made by a friend of a friend's. They basically is, if you know anything about databases, basically it's a PostgreSQL database that they host on the cloud that you can have API calls towards. Again, don't need to know details, but it's free as well, up to like I think 100,000 calls per month, and we're barely there. We're like at 25% of that. For our server, for the server hosting this website, we use DigitalOcean. That's $5 a month. I've upped that recently to $10 a month. This one is sorry. This is Vercel. Vercel is hosting this website for free. So Vercel is hosting this website for free. I don't pay for Vercel. And then for our server, which is handling the processing of the Notion wins and pulling that into the app, that I'm paying $10 a month for. And I have a video coming soon on how do you set up your own API server. Basically, it's a Zapier clone. If I had to pay for Zapier for this, it would be tremendously expensive. I wouldn't do it. But if you host your own open source code and host it into a server, again, that's super cheap. And again, I will say I knew nothing about server management before this, okay? And I will show you how it all works. I'll show you guides about this. It's not a problem. But again, my budget for this whole thing, right, again, is $15 a month. Can you guys afford $15 a month to work on your project? And this is a pretty big scale project. It's hosting 60 people's stuff. It's pulling wins every single day. I dare say you can do it on a $10 budget or $5 budget if you really want to deploy your code out. So yeah, go ahead.
Sure. And I would say even on top of that, just from some of my experience, I mean, it's going to obviously vary person to person, but, you know, depending on your size and your scale, I mean, I've even had, you know, in the developing steps, I've really liked working with Integromat as kind of that easy drag and drop like Zapier, but not having to pay for those high-end features and getting to have all of those schema even at the free plan level. So that way, even if you do scale and you want to reach those points, you can really do all your testing and just work on everything in a free plan, and then scale it up as you go.
There's just so many free tools out there nowadays that, like, and if you're ever curious why they're free, I used to have this thought, I was like, oh, if they're free, they must be stealing my data. Oh, that's mostly what they're doing. Yeah, that's one. That's more like a Google thing. But if they're free and they're a brand new company, or at least relatively new, they're probably just funded on venture capital money, and they're just trying to gather users. Again, at some point, they might start charging you, and you have to be careful for that. But for the most points, if they're free and they're relatively new, they're probably just burning investor money, and you can take advantage of that in the meantime. I'm just saying that to be honest. I mean, you can get a lot out of that and be able to benefit from, you know, their burns with your gains, right? You're able to build what you want to build and at a cheap cost. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful for anybody who's looking to do this, I'll probably clip part of this and share it in other forums as well if it's helpful for anybody. But Joshua and Ashley, Ben, any last thoughts you'd like to add above and beyond for anybody who's aspiring to be a citizen developer or whatever creative project they want to work on? And I realize
for
now
now.
it's probably bad to call in everyone at once because then everyone doesn't want to talk about each other. You're all too polite. But maybe I'll call in another order. Maybe Ashley can start, and then Ben, and then Joshua.
Sure. So I guess, I mean, like, I guess mainly, like, you brought up consistency before, of just, like, you know, it really, like, I mean, any, like, hobby really just requires, like, that, like, just putting in the time every single day, or at least, like, at a consistent, like, rate, like, per week, to, like, just, like, focus on, like, a project, like, especially, like, as big as this. It's, like, it really shows that you put, like, a lot of love into it. And like, I would really love for this to have even more pushes of like motivating consistency of like, you know, oh, always get someone to like log in every day, right? Like, or like, you know, oh, make sure you're doing that habit like every day or however often you want to do it. And yeah, because I don't know, just me personally, like that's been like kind of a like problem point is getting to that point where like I am doing something consistently. And so yeah.
I definitely hear you, and yeah, that's what I hope the community helps with.
Yeah.
You know, being able to check in with people, have some accountability there. The app, definitely we can add more features to do that. So 100% consistency top of mind. Thank you so much, Ashley, for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ben?
Sure. Yeah. I'm not sure the prompt is somehow I still had programming on top of mind. So programming thought, but
Oh, the prompt was more like anything you'd like to share to someone that is looking to start their creative project, maybe is having doubts about, you know, really committing. And also, I guess, just general advice for them. Like any last thoughts that we hadn't covered yet?
yeah, I think that it's just kind of about gaining traction. A lot of times that it's really hard to, when you just have ideas, really, if you don't have anything to actualize on, not just like, I really like your minimum viable product idea, of just like being able to hit that starting point of, okay, this is something, right? It exists, I can start. And then you just grow from there, right? You can't go bad, right? Especially if you're saying that you might have this opportunity to have a free stack, just name dropping other things. I think Notion likes to use Glitch as another collaborative free way to get started. But there's a lot of opportunities to start making something and then just grow on it. And then on top of that, you know, I think that what's really great for us in this digital technical age where we're online all the time, just automating some of your daily routine processes. You know, I mean, I do a lot of tedious things, for instance, even going through kind of the Notion for us, that if I can just have that automated for myself, that it's less time out of my day, you know, not just time for development here, but time just doing day-to-day things. If I enable myself to be able to, you know, hack my schedule, as it were, I think it's immensely powerful, not just for development for business, but also really to hack your own personal life.
100%. Bringing up more resources, I think, is the idea there. And however you can do that, I think 100% all the power to you. Automation is my choice, my cup of tea, and I think yours as well, Ben. So I think we're on the same page there. And yeah, I think being able to free yourself, perhaps is the right word here, but free yourself from some of the mundane things you do is one of the greatest strategies that has helped me as well. So 100% agreed. And Joshua, would like to end us off with a bang.
Sure. I was kind of telling Jackie this, but like I feel like when it comes to development, how can I say this? Like if you want to become more confident when it comes to like development, it's like find the open source project that you're highly passionate about. For me, it's actually this project. But the nice thing is that we're using technologies that are highly, I can't just say it again, highly sought after. Like the framework we're using, like the database technology and everything. People are looking for that, and people are good money, and companies are paying good money for you to know this stuff. And so finding like open source projects that you're passionate about, and then just see how you can help. And we can easily like there's like a lot that can be done with this application, and we can just like find a very simple task for you to basically complete. But besides our project, also there are other projects as well. But start with open source. Even if you don't have like your own idea as to what to build, open source is a great place to start. Plus, all your code will be available online, so prospective employers will be able to see your code. And basically, as you become a better developer, people can see how you're maturing as a developer, and that's always a win-win.
100%. I think that's a great point to end us off too, because I think the ability to get involved in something and learn from how that whole thing works is so important. And if you're looking for like a baby step into developing what you want to develop, I think this is it, right? Being able to see how others, code their projects, if you're talking about coding challenge, but really just finding out where the community lies in terms of what you want to accomplish, people that have done what you wanted to achieve before, and getting some way to work with them. Really, that's always been my advice for anybody that wants to get any job or position at any industry. Just find someone to shadow, bother them with a lot of offers to get involved, to support them in any way, and somehow or the other you'll worm your way into the organization, and you'll be able to learn what you need to learn to achieve what you want to achieve. So definitely, I think that's something that's very, very important and very well said, Joshua. And thank you all of you guys for sharing good thoughts. That's the end of this live stream. Thank you everybody for watching. They're at home. Again, hopefully this was a very good stream to catch you up on things that are happening with the Co-x3 Family Connection. Again, it's going to be launching next weekend, so stay excited and stay tuned. Thank you to all of our contributors here in this call and also within the community. You guys make this all happen. Couldn't have done it without you guys. And thank you, Ashley, Ben, and Joshua, for taking the time out of your busy schedules to not only collaborate with us on this exciting project, give us really good ideas, work together, but also share your thoughts with the wider community here on YouTube, because I think everything that we've talked about here is so valuable, and you guys have really shown a great perspective and depth into everything we're working on here, whether it's about party questing or freelancing or just building cool stuff in general. So thank you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're so welcome. So glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting us to be on the stream. I don't know. Just never done it before. That's exciting.
You guys are great. All right. Thank you everybody for watching again. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Join us in the community if you want to join in our events. We have hackathons coming up. We have content creation. We also have our Sunday council meetings. So join the community if you haven't already. Other than that, please take care. Bye, everybody.